In this daily drop, I'm going to be taking a look at the BLACKSLATE7 from TRIBE7, so let's go. All right, kids, here we are, living the dream, and today I want to talk about a little piece of kit that I've been checking out, and I think it's definitely worth an episode. First thing is that for years and years, I have traveled around with a little slate like this. This is about a 7 by 8 inch slate by yoiur, the one with 2 E's. I think it might actually be the first product that I bought from yoiur, and it's kind of amazing to see that they're making C-stands now, lighting, grip, all kinds of stuff, and you can't get this thing anymore. Is it a great product? No, it's okay, but it does the job, and for me, what's great about it is that it's so small I can take it anywhere with me. So I like having a small slate when I'm doing smaller productions. It does not by any means replace a smart slate in terms of, well, the functionality that you get out of a smart slate, but it is really nice on those smaller productions to have a slate with you. I can tell you that personally, when it comes to my productions, virtually no production is without a slate. We use it for interviews 100% of the time, and even when we're going around shooting B-roll, if we can, we'll go ahead and bring a slate into the shot and slate that for the editor. If we're not going to slate, then we're going to do audible. So we're going to actually talk into the camera and give the editor information in terms of what it is that's being shot. And I think that that's really the important thing to talk about here, is that we slate because the editor can use that information when they are in post-production, and it helps them tremendously. So please, I implore you, if you're not slating right now, do it for either the editor that is editing the project, or if it is you who's editing the project. It's really hard to remember everything that went on, and the more data you have when you get into post, the better. All right, so on to the BLACKSLATE7 from TRIBE7. This is a collaboration. This company, TRIBE7, is a collaboration between Bradford Young, ASC, and Neil Fanthom, who used to be with RØDE. They started this company after they started to develop some very character-based cine lenses for large format cameras like the Alexa 65. We just had the Alexa 265 announced. And they started to create this line of lenses for that particular purpose, with a lot of character for cinema applications. And those lenses, the Blackwing 7s, have been used on a lot of feature films and a lot of productions. One of the other projects that they did was this. It is called the BLACKSLATE7. It's a small, about 7.5 inch by 6 inch slate, and it's using essentially e-ink technology. Think a Kindle. And it's very straightforward in application. Now, this slate here, again, doesn't replace a smart slate. It is, I wouldn't say a one-trick pony. It's got its own sort of thing going on, but it's about $125 US, and it's definitely better built than the yoiur with 2 E's slate that I've been using. And I think a really interesting concept. So let's just talk about what this thing is, because when you use the clappers, you know, the sticks themselves, you're not going to see anything change here. It's very much a analog-y kind of digital product, which I like. I grew up in the 80s. That's not a bad thing. So basically the way it works is there are a bunch of different preset slates inside of the app that you download. So there's a BLACKSLATE7 app that you download. It's free. And once you have that, the thing that you need to know is to get the slate information onto the slate itself. You need an iOS or Android-based device that has NFC or near field communication capability. So I have an iPhone 15 Pro that does, and then you can flip through all of your different slates on here. You can star them and add them to your favorites. I've added a couple that I've created. And all I basically did was go in my case, Pixelmator Pro, and you can see here that I designed two different slates. They're really identical to each other, but I went in there and customized a slate. I started with the actual dimensions of the BLACKSLATE7, which I believe is 800 by 480 pixels. And I just started to lay out what I wanted on the slate. Not this one right here, but the one that you'll see in a second. So before I load one of my slates that I designed in Pixelmator Pro, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer one of the other ones from the library. So I'm just going to choose it. You just put it right over the device, and there we go. It's almost done. Takes about 10 seconds or so. It just hiccups for a second, and then boom, there it is. It's a little silly. This is one that it says if you shoot the rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal. It's obviously not a slate. But let's take a look at one of the ones that I did, which I loaded up. And basically what you do is you just create, for me, the slate in Pixelmator Pro, and then export that. I export it as a PNG file, and then you transfer that. You can airdrop it, you can send it as a message, email it, and you just have to have it in your photo library, and then you load it onto the app itself. And so what I'm going to do here is just choose one of the other ones that I designed, and I'm just going to put that right over the slate, and again, boom, and Bob's your uncle. And this is the one that I created here. It has production, it has scene, it has take, director, DOP, and then date. And then down here, I put little circles here that could be filled in really easily. Let's just go ahead and do this right now. So, you put in the production, you put in the scene, you put in, your take right here. And then you put in the director's name, you put in the DOP, you put in the date today. Well, when you watch this, we'll just pretend that it's tomorrow. I'll do this in the American way. But I got lucky because tomorrow is 12/12. So that could work elsewhere as well. And then I have interior, exterior, day, night. I have single for single system sound. I have sync for sync sound, so if I'm doing double system, or MOS without sound. So I'm just going to say this is an interior shoot. It's daytime. You couldn't tell by the way it is. And I'm actually not doing double system sound. I'm doing single here. So I'm going to say single. And then what I've done for myself, which I really like for me at least, is I've said cameras/cards. And, traditionally on a slate, you would see roll. I'm not shooting on film. I don't anticipate I'm going to be anytime soon. So what I usually want to do is know how many cameras I'm shooting. So I've got A, B, and C. So I'll just go ahead and circle A. And let's say it's a 2-camera shoot, we'll do B. And then which cards I'm using right now. Let's say I've been shooting and it's halfway through the day. So I've got 2 cards here, and we are on card number 2. And then that's it. You're not going to see any digital information when you slate it. It's got a nice clap sound, so you'll see that vertical spike there in your timeline in terms of your waveform. And the other one that I've loaded up here, let me just go ahead and erase this. Very easy to clean this, by the way. Dry erase, of course. I'm a big fan of the Expo markers, but that's just me. And really, if you needed to clean this any more than this, you would just use microfiber cloth like this, a tiny bit of water, and that's all you need to do to keep this going. And it looks like it has good operating temperatures from basically 0 Celsius to, I believe, somewhere around 50 Celsius. Obviously, you want to keep it in a nice dry place when you're not using it, and keep it in this little neoprene little thing that they've got going on. The other one that I created, which is not much different, and I'm just going to go ahead and scan this here. Let me just go ahead and get this done. Same process, I'm just replacing the one that was there. Is almost identical to the other one, but what I wanted to do was have a slate which also had scene and then shot. So if I was shooting a particular scene, let's say it was a courtroom trial, but I knew that I was on a particular actor in terms of the shot, then I wanted to have a shot basically section for this as well. All right, I think you get the basic idea. Is it worth, this is not a review, but is it worth $125 US? I think for a lot of people, it might be, because having a small slate around for a lot of those smaller productions makes a lot of sense. When you start to get into bigger productions, then you're probably going to have a sound recordist, a sound mixer. They're going to have a smart slate that they're going to be bringing in. Everything's going to be time code jam synced. You might even be gen locked for stuff and all the good stuff that happens in production. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I think that it's a piece of kit that could be considered by people. It's not something you're picking up on Amazon. You're either buying it directly from TRIBE7 or going to a reseller like B&H. Pretty cool stuff. Don't forget to. And I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.